Okay, here we are on our last major group of plants in their evolutionary trail, and we've gone from algae to mosses to ferns, then to a plant that invented the seed, the gymnosperm, but it was a naked seed, it wasn't covered, and to the final group, the most advanced group of all the plants, the one that is the most common in today's world, and it's called angiosperms. It's these flowering plants, okay? And this is a fruit, too, that comes from the flower that is covered. And that's what makes them different. This group of plants is the most dominant and successful group of all those groups we've talked about in today's world. They cover the planet. They are in charge. And here's a classic. It's a dandelion, okay? It puts out a flower. It's much more efficient than a cone. It has male and female parts, and this flower here depends on insects to put the pollen on the female part of the flower. And angiosperms then, after the flower has been pollinated, will cover their seed. These are covered seeds, not naked seeds, okay? These flowering plants. And they can be dispersed by animals. They can stick to you and you can haul them away, or an animal will eat it and maybe poop it out somewhere, or they will spring out on little touch-me-not plants. Here's this dandelion. Look at this. This looks like one flower. Here's a wild rose. This is one flower with the petals and the male and female parts, and your teacher will show you those in class. Well, this one smells so good it's going to attract bees. It smells sweet, and there's nectar, and bees and butterflies are going to land on this and then spread pollen. And here's my dandelion. Watch this. This might look like one flower, but it's really hundreds of flowers. All in one head. I'm going to take and pick one dandelion flower here. This is a flower from a dandelion. And it's got the petal and the stamen and the pistil, and there are hundreds of them on this one head. Anyway, it's just one example of all the thousands and thousands and thousands of varieties of flowers. And this is an obvious one, insect pollinated, and insect pollinated because it smells aromatic and it has a bright color and those insects can see them. And when these then turn into seeds, bada bing, bada boom, right? And these seeds are different from the naked seeds, because if I pick one and look at the base of it, it is covered. And typical you might be thinking of like bananas and strawberries. Those are fruit that cover seeds too, but dandelions do it. Maple trees, the little helicopter wings, those are covered fruit. And then there's so many ways to disperse these. This one depends on wind, doesn't it? And so, would you be our windstorm and blow them? There, and off they go. Off they go. Okay? Now I'm going to show you another interesting little flower right here. And if you can get in on this, this is not an obvious colored one. This is green and hidden. It's called a jack in the pulpit. Here's the flower. I'm going to open this up, and in is a little stick right there, and that is the jack, and he's in his pulpit. And this is not a bright, smelly, sweet-smelling flower. This smells like a mushroom, and so it attracts a little fungus gnat, a little gnat that will fly in there. And if it's a male jack in the pulpit, there's a little hole at the bottom here of the pulpit. So the little gnat crawls down there, gets pollen on its wings and its feet, and it can't get out the top because it's slippery. So there's a little exit down here in the male flower. And then it goes to a female flower. And here's a female jack in the pulpit, and then the little gnat will crawl down here and pollinate the female part of the jack in the pulpit, but alas, in the female they get stuck and they die in there because there's no hole at the bottom. And that's the difference. So these angiosperms have such a wide variety and adaptations and diversity. And on our our last little walk here on this last group. We're going to stop along the way and just look at a few of the adaptations that are common in angiosperms in your state, Minnesota. Are you ready to go? You ready? Let's go.